Yeah. Sometimes you might have access to care around the clock to help you navigate life. As myself, I pretty much engage with a lot of community work, and I have to go and speak as a speaker, and so that demands a lot of extensive um, work and help. Sometimes it's overbearing, where you just want to be alone, but you can't be alone because maybe you might have seizures and syncope or blackouts, and yeah, so it's not fun, but something you you somehow have to get used to. Mentally, um, I would always say uh, disability, chronic illness, and mental health work hand in hand because you have to resonate with a life that you've lost and the life you have to adapt to now. And usually, when you are at the space where you feel like you have lost a lot, maybe in my case, independence, career, friends, and when you made to feel like it's all in your head or you've been grossly misunderstood, and sometimes the length to get a diagnosis before the end of the tunnel, you have broken down into so many pieces where it's hard to come back to reality. And so my mental health early on was down.
I'm angry.
My body had failed me, It's a body you depend on to achieve your goals as a young person, you achieve your dreams, and all of a sudden you have to, you know, you have only your mind to cater to because the body right now is not in good form. And so yeah, so you have to prepare. It's gonna be a lonely, isolated, devastating journey dealing with anything new and traumatic and life changing, such as disability. But seek help. You have psychologists, psychiatry, counselors. Um, there's pretty much a lot of help um, out there. But is the help out there, does the framework, or is it tailored to the particular person? Because it's also individualistic disability. It varies. So what might work for X might not work for you or might not work for me, and that's the kick about the whole thing. But yeah, most people such as myself struggle mentally with adjusting. But we're getting by with the help in need. There's a long way to go. There is a long road to go for accessible and yeah, accessible support. But yeah, we are getting there. There is a silver lining to this, to life, to change. And I know it would be very difficult to find for some people. For me, I found purpose in my pain. I found a new sense of being, advocating not only for myself but for other people such as myself and other people who look like me, who are from the cult communities, who have been tossed to the side and who have been um, maltreated, yeah, who feel lost, isolated, and lonely without community or sense of belonging. So advocacy bloomed, and I started speaking about my lived in experience and my stories, and I continue to do exactly that. And also birthed a platform where people with disabilities, not only physical impairments, invisible disabilities, chronic illnesses, mental health, could share their stories of resilience and victory, whatever that looks like. Victory might be just a simple thing like waking up in the morning and choosing to move forward with life despite how hard your day has been and despite how inflamed your body has been or is.
And it amazes me how the word complexity and complex keeps being thrown, and medicals would deny you services because you're too complex. Yeah, you hear remarks like, it's too complex for me, the case is too complex. If everyone is too complex and you are there seeking for answers and solutions, who's going to be your treating specialist? Who's going to be in your team? People living with invisible disabilities such as myself, as many more, is a battle. It's a challenge to go about your everyday life. Imagine your body tearing apart, limb to limb. That's the sensation you get. The dissociative seizures in public, the extreme and chronic fatigue. Waking up from bed is a luxury. Getting to engage, being in the front line, such as myself, as an advocate, or speaking out, or using my story, just shooting, or as a speaker as well, you literally and totally burnt out. For an engagement of 2 hours or 1 hour, I would need a recovery time for about 2 weeks. For a 2-hour commitment or outing, you will have side effects, body swelling up, your body's inflamed, you've got seizures. you've got syncope, you faint, you black out. Your life literally is not your own. And people don't really get to understand the extreme difficulty and challenge FND poses and causes. And having people either want to dismiss your reality or not having adequate support and weight from government services is hard. It's a mental struggle. You need something more than resilience. You need hope, because for a long time you will go unheard, unseen, misunderstood, rejected. Everything is attached to your mental health. Either way, the symptoms are quite different from each person. It is a condition that requires 24 support. Everything is extremely challenging to fulfill. Even with myself, cognitively, I will have days where I'm totally blank. I don't know if I have had my meds. I'm at risk of overdosing myself, because I don't remember if I've had medication prior. Yeah, Kika. And sometimes as well, you can't commit to anything. You just don't have it in you to commit to relationships, to building new relationships, to engaging in a community and capacity building stuff. It's exhausting, it's debilitating. What I would want people to know is that people living with invisible disabilities such as FND and fibromyalgia need your support. They need empathy. They need understanding. And we need allies. We cannot do this alone. Not everyone has the ability to be on the front line, such as myself. It is hard. It is excruciating. It is challenging. But if we do not talk about our experience and tell our stories, our narratives will be changed, and we will not have the support and the services that we so much need to have a better quality of life. So, yeah, for everyone who is losing hope and going through their mental battle, hang in there. And to families, friends, and allies who are doing their best, and even in the professional space, those who are taking the right measures and looking for new treatment and ways to include and manage. Thank you, I guess. But we're far from what needs to be done. For me personally, I have found my purpose in advocacy work, in inspirational speaking, in writing, in creating awareness. These are the things and the spaces I occupy, and I find some glimpse of hope and fulfillment. But I also am faced with the challenges that come in, or that come with occupying these spaces, because the reality of it all is my body is not the same. It is not what it used to be. And so despite finding fulfillment, I struggle with committing to accomplishing all these goals. Each time I go out to speak or to even create, I am so fatigued. I can't keep a sentence in my head for 1 second. My body, because FND is so unpredictable. You might have plans and seconds to when you are trying to engage, your body shuts down totally, and the traveling takes a whole another toll on my body. It just gives up. And so I am glad that despite the excruciating and debilitating side effects of FND, of this condition, I have found sunlight at the end of the tunnel. And my mission and purpose is to make sure, with the capabilities that I am able, to create more awareness for people living with invisible disabilities and people living with fibromyalgia, chronic pain, FND. My purpose is to see acceptance, acknowledgement. And so that keeps me fulfilled. And all the pain and discomfort and challenges is worth the fight.
So I choose hope. I choose purpose. I choose advocacy. And I choose writing. And this has given me a new sense of being. Another sad reality about dealing with complex conditions such as FND is the loss. It's the loss you're gonna endure. You will have to endure, and that is, in simple terms, loss of friendships, of support systems, um, because most often, if you're coming from a culture or a community such as myself, disability is relatively very misunderstood. Um, most people within my culture are not equipped to have the right approach or response with disability, especially invisible disabilities. And so simple things like invites to birthdays and baby showers and parties, they begin to fade away. Your invitation gets lost, because it is often thought it's a lot of work having to deal with someone with a disability in a public setting, especially if you're having seizures or tremors, or people just tend to not want to deal with any extra baggage or load, I would say. And so it's easier for people just to just forget. Yeah. So that human connection that we all seek is relatively lost. And and you've got also the commitment of sustaining a friend or friendships, simple things like calling back or even catching coffee. Like, there are just days where I'm unable to get out of bed to be able to do anything, and some of those friendships suffer. You lose touch because people don't understand it's a fight every day with the chronic fatigue and chronic pain. You just can't do it some days. You just have nothing at all to give. And you have people not understanding why you can't visit them. If I had to pass on a message, what I would love to see a world where every disability counts. Every disability matters. I like to see a world where no one is left behind, no matter their capabilities or disability. I would like to see where people with disability are counted in places of policy change, in places, in rooms where people don't think people with disability can occupy. I would like to see a more inclusive and accessible world and country and community. Yeah, where we do not have to prove ourselves in getting the services that are required. I would like to see that change. I would like to see FND and fibromyalgia really, really taken seriously by the government, by understanding the impact it has on people and Australians. The system shouldn't fail us. The system should bridge the gap, because everyone living with a disability needs to be heard, seen and understood, and have access, fundamental right, have access to good quality of life and good support. And empathy from family, from communities, from friends, from people. Because when you're living with a disability, you are disadvantaged. The field is not plain. You are starting at a disadvantage. And so I would like to see more support in understanding its impacts to families, to friends, to dynamics of relationships, and most importantly, to the individuals living with disability. So, in retrospect, count me in, and many more.